It's been a little while since I made a actual spoon carving video. I know I've done a couple of spoon carving streams, and but I haven't really put one together for a couple years, just straight up spoon carving. I'm gonna try that out today. I'm gonna do something a little bit different. As you can see, we're out here on the trail today. I want to find a nice piece of wood to carve. The ones that I have back at the apartment are too difficult to cut with like a hatchet, and so I'm looking for some smaller pieces out here. I'm sure I'm gonna find some. You may also hear a lot of noise in the background, and that's because they're loading a ton of coal. What's that look like? Just right over there. They load up the coal right there, and then they bring it down the river to the power plant. They're working pretty hard today. All that noise is gonna help me. You see, the thing is that I don't really want anyone coming over and getting interested in what I'm doing when they hear like a hand saw cutting a tree. So I'm kind of glad that the coal people over there are making so much noise right now. I found a tree here that I think I can use. I'll cut a piece of it off. But I also found that they've put a whole road on the hillside up here, and I might have mentioned before that they're logging that area and that direction. Well, it seems like they're going to log a whole ton of this over here. You see these trees with orange spray painted on them. It's a nice, that's a black walnut right there. Yeah, they're gonna be cutting down some nice trees. Kinda sucks. That'll work. Maybe it's kind of, I don't know, maybe it sounds hypocritical to come somewhere where they're cutting down trees and then cut my own pieces and then complain about them clear cutting an area, but I don't know, I just feel like it's a little bit different. I only cut things that have like already fallen. I guess these have fallen because people have knocked them over, but yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna miss these trees here. What the heck happened here? I'm gonna guess that that pipe washed out in a flood. Maybe this year was covering it. Well, it'll work. Obviously, you want to cut away from yourself, and don't freaking chop your leg. Be smart about it. Know where the hatchet is going to swing if you miss, right? Okay, good talk. I could keep going, but I think that I've done enough here. Time to move on to the hand tools. I really don't like using a hatchet, but You have to. You've got to know all your tools. Sort of like sharpening knives. Not really my favorite thing, but you've got to do it. Right, so we've got the tools out. We've got a pared down list of tools today. Small sort of detail knife. Of course we have the strop, leather strop, little pen just for marking. Might need to mark that up. Small gouge, brush, hook knife. We'll be using that today. Second hook knife in here, and a couple knives here. This is a sharper detailing knife that's a little bit better. And this one here is going to be the Big Daddy, the main one that we use today to take a lot more material off. Let's get to it. I figured since I don't need to work on like that wooden surface anymore, since I'm not using the hatchet anymore, might as well find like a prettier place to sit where I'm not staring at a metal pipe the whole time. Here's a path. Yeah, this wood is still very wet. It's carving much nicer than the dry wood that I usually work with. So that's nice. You can feel how heavy it is too, just being like full of water. It's so dense. Let's make this a little more flat so that when I bring the hook knife over to it, I'll have an easier time. Wanted to take this bump out as well, so I'm going to do that. I have to do it this way. If a larger piece doesn't want to immediately go, just cut smaller. Something I've noticed carving over the years that I like a lot. It's a very simple thing, but as you get deeper into the bowl of the spoon, using your hook knife, it just becomes so much easier to carve it. I think because the hook knife wants to naturally go, like, you know, into kind of like a divot when you're first starting and you're just carving like a flat edge. I don't know, it's like the knife almost like fights you. You have to really direct it. But once it gets into the bowl of the spoon, it just kind of does the work itself, and it's really nice. It's actually kind of dangerous because I could just sit here and like do this all day until the blade makes it all the way through the wood. We don't want that. I think now is a good time to bring out my nice little detail knife. It's a Beavercraft Tools knife. They're pretty cheap and solid. They're solid little tools. I like them. But a detail knife is just sort of a smaller knife, not for removing as much material. Kind of some, like, you know, getting into some real fine up close work. Let's take these corners off here. There we go. Now let's make it a curve. Sometimes if your spoon isn't looking finished, it's just because you have a lot of sharp edges left on it. can smooth off or turn those sharp edges into facets. Then it'll look a little more polished. All right, let's do something with this handle here. Definitely still too wide. And definitely too thick. We want to make this a little bit thinner. There we go. That's starting to feel better. We can even dig in on the top right here and kind of make this like a little, maybe even like a ball on top. That might look nice. I've never tried it before. So I'm just gonna bring the bowl a little bit further out. These areas where it's like extra wide, where there isn't anything, where there's not bowl or edge, they just kind of look amateurish. That's okay. But I want to make this a little bit tighter looking. So we're going to bring the edge of the bowl out. Instead of carving the edge in, we're going to bring the bowl out. Just because I think that might look a little nicer. Really, it's going to be personal preference, isn't it? What you'll want to do with your spoon, if it's green like this, you'll probably want to wrap it up in a towel or a few paper towels, even maybe slightly damp paper towels, and just kind of put it away for hours at least, several hours, because you want it to slowly dry. You don't want it to quickly dry and crack, because it could split. And you wouldn't want it to split on the bowl of the spoon. Okay, just a little more cleaning and that's it for this one. Clean up this little edge of the ball on top. Little detail up there. After it dries, it'll be much easier to clean up this stuff too. All right, there's a little spoon for you. Just a simple eater. It's still pretty rough looking, but it's more spoon now than when it started, right? It's been a beautiful day out here. And that's really all that matters. It's been great having you along today for the carve. Thanks for joining. As always, stay safe, keep carving. See y'all.